government, and it's the Department of Education, and they've kept the chapel, which was the first Catholic cathedral in British Columbia, as a heritage part.
So, and even you don't think that you could be influential by giving an opinion?
I'm not commenting on that. We
No.
have nothing to do with the policies on that land. It belongs to the government and the Provincial Capital Commission.
So you don't fear anything? Going to jail?
Oh no.
Well, how was jail?
It was the same as here. It's just more life, the experience.
If your evidence comes before the court on this charge as a result of violations of basic human rights, then Section 7 of the Charter says that you can't have a criminal proceeding unless it's done out of basic fairness, and that violation of those basic human rights makes this procedure violate Section 7.
So it doesn't make any sense. We have policies that are forcing people into the streets because they can't afford accommodation anymore, and at the same time, we're criminalizing them. Those two things don't go hand in hand.
Okay.
For the law to actually criminalize somebody and put them in jail for simply sleeping.
They shouldn't do that. It's morally wrong and probably legally wrong.
They didn't have to have him arrested. They could have allowed him to sleep peacefully.
No, because he was scaring people here.
Who was he scaring?
The employees when they were coming into work.
But you would wake him up in the morning.
Call up and say, hey, there's a guy sleeping out there. Get rid of him.
They were
It's
threatened.
not only him, it's anybody that sleeps out here. We had one last week. He left all his stuff.
But why do you find that threatening? Why?
I don't find it threatening. The girls do.
Well, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know who exactly. I mean, I really wouldn't mind talking to somebody that felt threatened or was threatened by his presence here.
Exactly who they are.
Did anybody ever make a formal complaint about him sleeping here?
They've called Dave in the morning and say, or they'd call me and they'd say, get rid of this guy. We don't need him or we don't want him around here.
But who would do that? The PCC would do that.
Coming into work, I don't know who they are. This has all happened in the last year, as you say. I had to sit out and hold his hand to make sure that nobody got scared.
And so you would do that. How long did you do that for? Like you were
4 or 5 months.
You would go out there and sit with him in the morning.
Well, till he woke up and left. Yes, because they were scared that girls would look out their office window and they'd see this body lying out on the thing, and they'd get scared. So it was agreed that somebody should stay with him. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. See you shortly.
You must have got to know him. Yeah.
I'm not finished. Meanwhile, while I'm sitting out there making sure he doesn't bother people, I'm supposed to be here doing exactly what I did with that lady there, accepting people that had to put somebody else in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they paid me for, to sit out there and keep them quiet or whatever.
You must have got to know him quite well.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to.
Did you ever listen to what he said? Did he ever
He
talk
never
talk
said
with
very
you?
much. He'd just say, you know, good morning or something like that, or have a good day, and then he'd leave.
And so
There was no
what did you do? You just
friendly
sat there with
relationship
him?
between us.
You
He
didn't.
knew what I was there for, and I knew that there's nothing we could do.
So he would be sleeping, and you would just go out and sit with him? What did you have, a chair or something you'd sit on, or
There's
what?
benches out in the gazebo there.
And you were told to do that? Like somebody told you to go out there?
Told me my boss here, and the company I work for told me to do that.
Did you find him to ever be a problem with you? Was he ever hostile with you?
Not really, except that he would, you know, you'd say, ask him if he, you know, please leave or something. He'd say, I forgive you. And then he'd just sit there. Then, or else he'd start playing his little flute, you know, just ignoring us completely. So that's the only relation I had with him.
No,
What the others had, I don't know. Like the girl that worked in the afternoon, she wouldn't even talk to him. She'd say, don't you talk to me, shut your mouth and get out of here. And that was it. And yet, it's coming along now that he's been harassed. Who was harassing him? I don't know.
When they took you in the police car, where would they drive you to?
Town country.
Okay. So what did they say to you, or why did they take you there?
I don't know, because they don't have right to arrest you.
But they have the right to drive you?
No, they don't have the right. It's illegal too. That's why they never put charge anywhere. Because they cannot process anything like that.
So what do they say? Did they say don't come back to St. Anne's, or?
They didn't say nothing. The cops can do nothing because you need to stay dry. Then it's pouring rain and there's no place to go. Everything is closed.
So what would you do when they drove you?
Walk back down.
Walk back here?
Find a place to stay dry.
I'm calling about David Arthur Johnson.
Okay.
And some of the issues that he's raised.
Yeah.
What he mentioned was that he's been arrested like 21 times, and 6 of those times he's been taken to the outskirts of the city and dropped off.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, and no, we don't do that here. If he gets arrested, he's arrested, and he's brought into cells. We're not in the habit of taking people to the outskirts of town and saying, no, don't come back.
Right.
Not the way we do things.
But what if police did that, though?
Well, it's not right. We wouldn't do it.
Well, what if they did it, though?
They'd have to prove it. We did it, and I'm sure that's not going to be the case, so.
Do you live around here?
Oh, yeah.
And so you were aware of his stand and it didn't bother you? You didn't feel threatened?
I was proud of him. I didn't feel threatened by it at all, no.
You know it's going to take the people to rise up to make the judges pay attention enough to listen.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this can be done overnight by a few people. And then suddenly everyone wakes up one morning and it's not illegal to sleep outside anymore.
Evening.
He's in jail and he's trying to force the judicial system to be just.
What's that mean, Star David?
Truth. The light of truth.
It's fun to harmonize with injustice so as to make it just.
What do you mean by right? Is there rights and wrongs?
Right and wrong are measured off of whatever goal you have. And so there's a general acceptance that right and wrong are measured off of love.